Right then, lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, parts of the world. We are back again. You can see the smile back on my face. That means I've moved on from that humiliating, humbling defeat against Manchester United at the Old Trafford. And today, we are going to be speaking new strikers. We are going to be speaking a very huge transfer boost for Dusan, Vhlahovic, after Fiorentina signing another striker. Why on earth would they sign another striker? Yes, yesterday their boss, their president, also came out and said he is our player. We know they are interested. Juve, Arsenal are interested, and of course we shall see what is going to be taking place. Obviously, guys, we're going to be speaking about that. Goal Italia have given us a big update around Dusan Kulusevski as well. They have said that yes, Arsenal want the player, and Juve are also considering giving the player away if there is an offer that will be meeting their valuation. We're also going to be discussing Henry Thierry, speaking about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and his very poor form and his disagreement with Mikel Arteta to put him off, to take him off. When we were looking for a goal, I disagree with Henry. I think Aubameyang there was absolutely dreadful. We'll try to dive into that. Mikel Arteta has come out and defended his players there, in the Old Trafford game, and he said that, look, yes, we performed poorly, but he said we were very good. It was only one moment that actually took that game away. I disagree with that. I'll give you my honest opinion about that because I think the whole game was a shambles. Partey, Elneny, Aubameyang, they were an absolute shambles, and I'll be replying to all the people who think Martin Odegaard cost us that game. You are absolute mugs if you think like that. And obviously, guys, later in the video we will be trying to dive into the bigger picture of Calvert-Lewin, Dusan Vlahovic, and whoever may come in to replace the dead Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, for me, who's never gonna come back to life ever again. Smash a like on the video, and I want to thank everybody who smashed the like, the like button yesterday. We got to 250 likes on yesterday's video. I'm really happy. So let's get that one done. 200 likes is just the target. If we can get that one done, you lot are the best there in this thing. Anyway, at the moment, let's get the party started. Now, we've been linked with a couple of strikers, and the first thing I'm going to go, and the first place I'm going to go is Fiorentina, back for Dusan Vhlahovic. Now, according to Fiorentina president Commisso, he said, I don't know if Juve will be able to sign Vlahovic in January. But what I want to say to Juve and Arsenal, that we Fiorentina are the owners of Dusan Vlahovic. They should open talks with us, not with his agents, he told Tutto Mercato. Now I'm gonna say this guy was really pissed with Juve, not with Arsenal. What I'm gonna say with this interview is Juve are trying to take advantage of Fiorentina, just like they did with a couple of other clubs, with Manuel Locatelli, with Federico Chiesa. What they want is to lure the agents, to lure the players' interest to liking Juve, and then they will get the player on pennies or even on a very long-term contract, which will be paid in installments. Now, Fiorentina do not want that. They've made it very clear that we want to sell to a club that is ready to give us the money. We want to sell to a club that is ready to give us the offer that we want. Arsenal are ready. With that much we know, 60 to 80 million euros is already on the table if the player will agree to join us. Now, according to Fiorentina president Commisso, they do not want anyone to talk with the player because the player is still under contract. Juve trying to break the contract, they're trying to break the code of conduct, trying to convince the player and the agents to sign for them in January. But of course, he has also come out and said that I don't know if Juve can sign Dusan Vlahovic in January. Obviously, we talked about it in the summer when we were speaking about Manuel Locatelli and a couple of other players. We were fighting, we were battling out for their signatures with Juve, and we said, and I said, I still remember myself saying that Juve are absolutely broke. They do have financial issues. They do have financial problems. I don't see how they got there and then signed an 80 million euro player, unless it's going to be a deal structured to be paid in installments across a period of 10 years. Not even 10 years, maybe 20 years. They are broke. They're in a very, very poor and bad financial situation. Arsenal should not be scared, and we shouldn't be even really minding Juve, because in this transfer, again, guys, they do not have the money. They do not have what it takes. Yes, they might be a bigger club in Italy, but they're also dropping off the radar. Look at where they are in the Serie A, losing games every week. Look at where they are in the Champions League. Yes, they've been doing well. They've been really doing well, in the group stages, but you don't expect them to win it. You don't expect them to even go to this as far as the semi-finals. For me, Dusan Vlahovic, it is upon the player to decide. But Fiorentina president Commisso has said, we will sell. We want to sell. Come talk to us. Do not talk to the agent. Do not talk to the player. Because again, that, guys, I do agree with him. That's a little bit disrespectful. That's a little bit not in line with the code of conduct. But one or two things I'm going to say is Fiorentina are much interested in selling to us. They want to sell to us because they know we have the money. They do not want to sell to Juve because definitely at the end of the day, Juve will want to do installments. They want to do one or two installments after a very, very long period of time. You can't believe they signed Federico Chiesa in installments across almost a period of 5 years. The same thing with Locatelli, installments across a period of 3 years. I mean, how are they going to do that all their lives? So Fiorentina don't want that. They want a club that's going to give them money. They want a club that's actually going to be there to give them the money. Now, speaking about Fiorentina and Dusan Vlahovic, there is a very huge transfer boost. They have signed another striker. Now, of course, guys, Fabrizio Romano did come out yesterday and he said, yes, they have signed a new striker. They have an agreement to sign a new striker, but this does not have big links with Dusan Vlahovic's future. Now, according to Fabrizio Romano, this is what he said. Fiorentina are planning to complete the signing of Jonathan Ikone in the next few days. The agreement is at its final stages with 15 million euros to Lille. Future sale percentage will also be included in the deal. Ikone's arrival in January is not yet linked with Dusan Vlahovic's future. Now, what I'm going to say about Fabrizio Romano is he wants to sit on the wall so much, and maybe that is why he's one of the best journalists there in the world. He sits on the wall. He never actually lets go of information unless he feels it is absolutely sure. Now, to share my opinion about this, yes, Lille are splashing Fiorentina are splashing 15 million euros on a new striker. Why on earth would they do that? Why on earth would they do that at the moment when they have one of the best strikers, one of the best products, one of the best young strikers in the world? Why would they spend another 15 million euros on a striker? Make it make sense, Lille. Make it make sense, Fiorentina. For me, I believe this is already planning for life without Dusan Vlahovic. They are already looking into it. They're saying, we will not actually get this guy to stay. We will not actually stand in his way. He wants to go. He will leave. And obviously, clubs are there that want him. City interested. Obviously, now we know Tottenham is interested. And also Juve and Arsenal are much interested in taking the young striker. And many clubs out there that have actually not joined the rest as yet. United, they could join the rest if they fail to get to Erling Haaland. And many clubs there that want strikers. Barcelona, don't hide. I know you want a striker. Real Madrid probably, they could do it. They could use a striker. And many other clubs out there that will not get Erling Haaland. They will decide to fight for the signature of Dusan Vlahovic. So what I'm going to say about these guys again is signing Jonathan Ikone for me means that the Fiorentina will try to fight and get their life running with or without Dusan Vlahovic. 80 million euros offer is being met by Arsenal. It's only the player. It's only the agreement. Only and only the agreement. If we can get that done, we will be on our way to getting one of the best young products there in world football. And of course, replacing one of the worst strikers at the moment in the world, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. I'm absolutely disgusted. Whenever I think about all the chances he's been missing in the last 3 games, we could have been better. Our goal difference could have been better. Our league position could have been better. And obviously, the points we have on the table could have been better. But we lack a striker. And that is the major problem. Absolute major problem. And of course, guys, speaking about all stories coming in from Italy, Arsenal could be in line for a 15 million windfall if Lucas Torreira makes his move permanent to Fiorentina. What do you do with that money? Of course, that's an article that's been written by Football.London. Really nice blog. They really write a lot of Arsenal content, really good content. And of course, now they're saying that Fiorentina, in that article, they actually claim that Fiorentina would love to retain the services of Lucas Torreira. Of course, we know Torreira really does well there in Italy. In the rest of the other European countries, he has been at Atletico Madrid in Spain, didn't work out, came at Arsenal. I don't know whether that one really worked out or the manager actually didn't see anything in him. But again, he works really well in Italy. Fiorentina took him on a long-term contract, and now on a long-term loan deal, and now they want to make the deal permanent. They would love to sign the player on a permanent deal. One or two things I can say about this is he needs to be at a club where he's loved. Fiorentina is another club that's gonna give him all that he loves. That is where his heart is. I don't see Torreira having a future at Arsenal. I don't see Torreira having a future in any of the clubs there in England. It should be Italy. It should be Fiorentina. He's already found where his heart beats well. Let him settle there, and it would be a very good incentive and line of business if Arsenal can get this one done, sell Torreira to them, and probably use that rapport, use that link to get Dusan Vhlahovic out of Fiorentina. Of course, that is me being very optimistic and very being very hopeful that we can get that deal done. Now, talking about getting deals done, Goal Italia, which is the Italian version of Goal.com, they've actually come out and confirmed that there will be very much interesting stuff between Arsenal and Juve on the signature of young player Dusan Kulusevski. Now, this is according to Romeo Agresti, one of the reporters there for Goal Italia. He's actually come out and said that Arsenal have already made their moves for the player. Arsenal have already made their interest seen and known for the player. It is now Juve that actually evaluating the valuation that they feel is just enough for Dusan Kulusevski. Now, the big question for me, guys, there is Juve do want to sell, but the problem is that they do not want to make a loss for a player who's not getting game time, for a player who's actually not even important at them at the moment. At least they want 35 million euros plus bonuses. Yes, we can give them that. For me, I feel like we should give them even lower. They should lose some money because the player's actually been not really playing football. He's been off the mark. He's actually been away from football, from footballing days, and that is because of Juve, not because of us. We should be giving them less money than they signed him for. But obviously, guys, there, when I think about players like Dusan Kulusevski, I get really hungry because the likes of Nicola Pepe, they have really become a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. So Kulusevski maybe could come in at Arsenal, just provide us with that kind of link, just provide us with that kind of better forward line, just to make our forward line better. Because against United yesterday, I saw an Arsenal side that really wanted to score. I saw an Arsenal side that really wanted to get the goals, but we couldn't. We were limited by our quality. We were limited by the I thought we had a quality bench, but it was only Saka who came on from the bench and made slight of a difference. The rest of the players were an absolute shambles. So what do you think, guys? Kulusevski, should we pay 35 million euros? For me, I don't care the price. The price is right. I would play that. I would play that game with Dusan Kulusevski. Get rid of Pepe, because it is embarrassing that Pepe actually stays on the bench and Edin Ketia, a striker who's rejected a new contract, comes on against Manchester United away at the Old Trafford. It is an absolute shambles. Absolute shambles. Now, talking about absolute shambles, guys, it is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Who else could it be? Absolute shambles. This guy really disappointed me yesterday. Really disappointed me yesterday. And if you look at the comments he actually made after the game, you will be absolutely shocked. Aubameyang on the defeat, he said, well, we are a bit disappointed tonight because the team played very well. In this type of game, you need to be clinical defensively and offensively, and you have to do the perfect game because of the quality of Manchester United. Those comments from Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang are the worst hypocritical comments. That is the worst piece of hypocrisy I've ever heard from a human being ever in my life. I've dealt with comments from African presidents. I've dealt with comments from all over the world, capitalists and things like that. I've never had a very hypocritical statement like this ever in my life. Aubameyang having the audacity to talk about being clinical offensively, being clinical. How many chances did he get? How many chances did he waste? And how dare he come here and criticize anyone, saying we needed to be clinical defensively? I think we were good defensively. The only reason as to why we conceded many goals is because Aubameyang did not press. The forward line didn't press. They were absolute shambles. That's the reason as to why we lost that game, and that's the reason as to why we conceded as many goals as we did. And obviously, guys, in the last 12 hours, reports have actually come out linking Arsenal with Vhlahovic, saying that Arsenal, Mikel Arteta is getting more and more frustrated with this lad. He's becoming a nuisance. For me, he's already become a nuisance. He's already become someone I do not want to see in the Arsenal's jersey anymore. He's an absolute disgrace. He's an absolute shambles. Against Everton on Monday, drop him and I'll be the happiest man in the world. Drop him. He is an absolute shambles. Of course, Vhlahovic is not one of my first choice strikers, but I'll take him all day long, all night long. I'll take Dominic Vhlahovic over Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Aubameyang is just a disgrace now. All the history, all the good things he's written on his name at Arsenal, he's already rewinding the clock. And this time, nothing will stop me from saying, Aubameyang, well done. You're finished, lad. You're absolutely finished. You need to move on. Go to Torino. Go to Parma. Go there. Just drive your Lamborghinis in Italy. I mean, just roam around. In Milan, Arsenal, in London. Your job is absolutely over. Let's look at Mikel Arteta and some of the comments he made. But before we do that, smash a like on the video. Let's get them to 200 likes, lads. Thanks everybody for doing that. Now, Mikel, of course, talked about the game after that really disappointing defeat. And of course, he said on whether he saw the goalkeeper was down for the opening goal. He said no. It was a very quick action. And afterwards, we didn't know what to expect. I was talking to the fourth official, and they allowed the goal. But I have seen it. But I have seen it since. On Martinelli's performance, he said yes, he looked a threat. He had a big chance in the first half, and he probably should have played on. He created assists. He worked extremely hard, and he had really some good moments. He looked a very big threat. On if he felt the team were comfortable after the first goal, he said no. I think we were so sloppy in possession. We gave away the ball to the opponent, and we had no pressure there. We created a strong momentum that allowed the team to run, and they had the structure to play. And suddenly, we started to give away the ball all away. So many unforced errors that led them to having belief that they could do something in that game. I didn't see a team with a handbrake. I saw a team that wanted to impose themselves here. They were really dominant. They played with the right structure and the right freedom, and at the same time, but we did not defend our box well enough today, and manage some situations well to concede the way they did. And obviously, when he was asked about whether senior players are actually being shambles, he said certainly it's the balance we need, and that's the balance, and that the balance is right. The senior players have to lead, and the young players have to follow. On how he plays, or he plans to stop players from dropping off after they score fast, he said, well, I don't know. It's really very difficult because you are in possession of the ball. You have to make decisions, and I want to encourage them to do what they feel. But you know, against those teams, you get punished immediately with the quality and amount of players they can play against. You have to be good straight away. Of course, that is Mikel Arteta there speaking on the situation about the game. Of course, there is nothing he can tell me. After dropping Aubameyang Lokonga, there is nothing he can tell me in his press conference. He was an absolute disgrace and a shambles as well. And of course, Thierry Henry has actually come out and said, look, Arsenal lost that game, but of course there were so many wrong decisions that were made in that game. And he talked about pulling off Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang when we needed the goal. That was a shambles. He bottled it. Thierry Henry there bottled it. Aubameyang needed to leave the pitch right at halftime. 3 players needed to leave the pitch right at halftime. Nuno Tavares needed to leave the pitch right at halftime. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang needed to leave the pitch right at halftime. And Mohamed Elneny or Thomas Partey, because all of them, both of them were an absolute shambles. I'll speak to you in the next video. Do me a favor, smash a like on the video. Let's get this to at least 200 likes by the end of this premiere, and I'll speak to you very, very soon in the 6 things we learned and the player ratings, and obviously, of course, in the preview. Everton coming on Monday, 6 days, less than 6 days, actually less than 3 days to Monday, and then after that, less than 4 days, we will play Southampton over the weekend. Games coming in thick and fast. I hope Arsenal can pick up points in the next 2 games. That will really mean the world to me. Speak to you very, very soon, my family.